We're excited to have Emmanuelle Miller here. She's the Grand Maître of the Cotes de Blaye, as well as a chateau owner.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for welcoming me. It's a real pleasure to be here today with you guys. In our appellation, you can find a few different appellations. First of all, the Cotes de Blaye, where you can make only white. Second of all, you'll find the Blaye Cotes de Bordeaux. I don't know if you remember, but it used to be called Première Cotes de Blaye. And in 2001, we changed it into Blaye Cotes de Bordeaux. And actually, it was more for the export market, because the name Bordeaux is into the appellation, and it's a better view for the final consumer to have the name of Bordeaux under the label, actually. So that was a good point for us. And second of all, you can find the appellation Blaye. That's what you're going to taste tonight, actually, where you have a bigger density, a smaller yield, and on the specifications of Blaye, they ask us to age the wine at least 12 months in oak. So we're going to talk more we're going to be deeper on this part later on. About the terroir, we got mostly silt, sand, and clay. We have a great terroir for white, and especially our Sauvignon Blanc, because the clay retains water and gives the freshness to the grapes. Our appellation is one of the biggest appellation of Bordeaux, with 6,700 hectares and counts 430 chateaux and an annual production of 35 million bottles. It is ranked 5th in France for its red production, where we produce 90 to 95% of red and 5 to 10% of white. So as you all know Blaye is famous thanks to the citadel of Blaye, built by Vauban on the 17th century to protect Bordeaux. And you have to know that in Blaye, behind each chateau, there's a winemaker and a family. Most of the chateaux are small-sized ones and family-owned for more than 3 generations. Our appellation is dominated by merlot that gives a fruity wine and deep color, producing well-rounded, aromatic, and richly flavored wines with elegant tannins. And concerning the white, we are using mostly Sauvignon Blanc that gives highly refined wines with citrus fruit, aromas, and flavors. And to conclude, our wines are known for their excellent value for money. I don't know if you noticed that already, but I wanted to tell you that. So actually, Chateau des Tourtes, we're on top of on the right bank. So right, it's about 60 kilometers north from Bordeaux, on the blue zone. Bordeaux. And it is a family-owned business. Our parents started the winery in 1967. My sister, brother-in-law, my husband and I came back in 1997. At that time, my parents got 40 hectares, producing already whites, reds, rosé, and even Crémant Bordeaux. They were one of the first winemakers who welcomed people at the winery. Now we are up to 74 hectares on the appellation Blaye Cotes de Bordeaux, and we expanded in buying 34 hectares, of the land on the other side of the estuary, on the appellation Haut-Médoc, where we produce only red wine, and it's a Cru Bourgeois since 2012. So let's start with the first white. So the wine that you're tasting today is a blend of 80% Sauvignon Blanc and 20% semillon. I think it's a great blend because the Sauvignon can be sometimes too lively, and adding the semillon gives more fat and soften the blend actually. So the color is pale, a pale yellow. Oh, I'm sorry. It really shows the youth of the wine. On the nose, you can tell it's very aromatic white. You can detect the citrus fruit, grapefruit, and even passion fruit with a bit of white flower, I think. It is well balanced with the freshness from the fruits and the elegance of the Sauvignon Blanc, I think, too. So I don't know if you tried it.
It's delicious.
Personally, I like this wine while I'm cooking. I don't know about you, but I can have this glass right there when I'm cooking. I love it. Of course, you can have it also with raw fish, oysters, or a nice piece of grilled fish also. So no problem. You have to drink this wine within 2 to 3 years. Don't keep this kind of wine, especially ours, because I'm a bit, how do you say that, allergic to sulfites. So I told my brother-in-law is taking care of the wine, and I told him, please don't add too much sulfites into our wines because I'm allergic. So he's under the dose, so that's why don't try to keep it too long. But it's great because it's almost natural. So how about I'm going to follow on the attribute then.
Okay.
So the attribute, you're on the vintage 2016, and it's a blend of 60% Merlot and 40% Cabernet Sauvignon. So like I told you earlier, it's a wine that comes from the appellation Blaye. So we are down to 35 hectoliter per hectare with this wine, compared to the other ones that are around 55 hectoliter per hectare. So you can tell the concentration of the grape is there. And we decided to age this wine into new oak barrels for 18 months. So it's a dark granite red wine. You can tell by the nose that the wine got a lot of sun. Very matured and fresh with a mineral touch. I can smell the how do you say that, the cooked fruits, like prunes, you know. The wine is very smooth, very well balanced, with a very elegant tannins as well. You can still keep this wine for a few years, no problem. About the pairing now, I would suggest a good piece of red meat or duck or cheese will pair.
Does anyone have any comments or questions?
Yeah, I have a
Yeah?
question. You're using a lot of Cabernet Sauvignon to blend Merlot in Blaye. I wonder if you can expand on that rather than Cabernet Franc. This is a very high percent of Cabernet Sauvignon. Is it just warmer in your region or the soils? You can please answer.
Yeah. So actually, we got rid of the Cabernet Franc a few years ago because it didn't mature as well as the Cabernet Sauvignon. That's the very first point. That's why we don't have any Cabernet Sauvignon anywhere. Cabernet Franc, I'm sorry. Second of all, normally on the right bank, you have mostly more. I want to say more Merlot, like around 80% Merlot, blended with Sauvignon, Cabernet Sauvignon, or if you have Cabernet Franc, you can. But this wine, we added the 40% Cabernet Sauvignon because we wanted to have a very powerful wine. And we know Cabernet Sauvignon is a great varietal for that. It gives the powerful, the strength, and the life for wine. That we wanted to have to keep this wine into the cellar for at least 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
So I think we reached our goals. But adding some more Cabernet Sauvignon, even if it's lower, it's only 40%, but still a big part into this blend. We wanted to make sure that this wine could keep longer. I hope I answered.
Yes, you did.
Right.
And so Cabernet Sauvignon and Blaye can ripen to full maturity in most vintages, correct?
Yes, Cabernet Sauvignon for us on the terroir that we have, yes. But the Cabernet Franc, that's why we got rid of it. While my dad actually was already active, he decided to get rid of it because it didn't mature as well. Mm-hmm. It was green, it didn't come out the way we wanted. So we prefer to focus on the merlot and the Cabernet Sauvignon. But thinking about these two varietals, when we came back, my brother-in-law decided to add some more Carmenère, Malbec, and Petit Verdot into the vineyards. So it's not on the blend tonight, but when you come back to the winery, to our chateau, and visit us, we'll be able to taste some other varietals like Carmenère, Malbec, or Petit Verdot.
Well, that's
fun.
very interesting and fun. We'll definitely make a trip. Final question is, this is a very rich, powerful red, and more black fruits and red fruits. And so this seems like Vin de Gare to me, that it can age well. It seems like it's not ready yet to be drank and needs a little more time. So any thoughts on the drinkability window on this wine?
Yeah, I think you can hold on until 2030 if you have a good cellar. That's the big point too. If you have a great cellar, this wine, especially 2016, when you have great vintages like this, you can keep it at least 15 years, at least. Yeah.
It's powerful. Thank you.
I wanted to follow up the question on the Cabernet on the soils that you grow it in. Are you growing it in limestone or limestone clay soils, or do you have plots of gravel where it can ripen well?
Yeah. So we have gravel actually under sous-sol, underground. That's why Cabernet Sauvignon likes it. We have a bit of clay here and silt. So I guess the Cabernet Sauvignon is happy with that. But the gravel, I think it's the key of the matured varietal. Yeah.
Obviously, this is where the two rivers come together. So if you look across the river, it's pretty flat. So your topography, is it flat? Does it go up from that point?
Alors, here it's really flat. Yeah. You drive 2 or 3 kilometers, it's going to be hills everywhere. But here it's mostly flat. We have a nice coast, but one hill, where we produce our great grapes. But other than that, that's true, it's mostly flat here.
And the soil is similar to the left bank, I guess, if you're...
The soil, it's clay and limestone, and that's a great blend to have the two together, because on one side, the clay retains the water when it's too dry, and the limestone is filtering the water when we have too much rain. So this is the perfect blend to mature our grapes on the other side. And it's a bit more hilly on the other side. Hillier than here, actually.
Oh, interesting.
I want to say.
Interesting. Okay.
Thank you.
So for Isabel's, instead of having Isabelle here, luckily we had a recording, which was sort of the inspiration for her coming. So we can go ahead and play the video now.
Welcome to the Famille Chety winery. My name is Isabelle. I'm the owner, one of the owners. I'm working with my older brother, Christophe, and we are the 13th generation. Our family owns this winery from 1698. We have parchement or proof that time. Then we are 5 small vineyards, 5 estates, one from my mother's side, one from my father's side family. Both of the family were also winemakers. And I bought one small one of my brother and one from the corporation. Here you are in the cellar of my mother's family side. It's called La Cotière. And we're gonna show you a little bit around, and then we're gonna pass to another cellar. This is the cellar of the Amphorae, and you can hear it's a music. I hope you can still hear me. We always leave the music to age the wine. For us, it's my philosophy. We know the sound, like vibration, and the liquid are turning, and I think so. It's also very good for the mood and the attitude of our team and ourselves. Then here you have all my babies. I call them my babies. All my Amphoraes. This one are made in France, made with a French clay. Here, for example, I bought because I bought a picture of my clay pot maker. His name is Mohamed. Then you can see they are made by hand. They are made by circle here, and they are made in Castelnaudary in southwest of France, 3 hours from here. What is important on a clay pot? First, it's a shape. It's an egg shape. It's a round shape. It means it's not square. It means when it's very well closed like that, here I use a silicone cork here, kind of to close it well. Then when I close it well, it goes on pressure inside. And with the difference of the weather, it's called the Brownian effect. It's a physics. The liquid inside is turning like that, like a 2 vortexes. It means the lees, the small sediments are always on rotation, and they reconcentrate the wine. That's the first very good effect of the Amphorae. And the second one, it's according the temperature of the cooking of the clay. This one, the higher cooking temperature, it's 100,000 Celsius. Then it's a lot of micro-oxygenation, porosity. It means the oxygen is going in, out, in, out. It's like a little bit it happened with the cork, but on that case, if you compare to barrels, it's 5 times more important than this exchange in a barrels, in a wood barrels. Then it means it's kind of accelerates a little bit the aging process, and that makes the wine really suave. I'm gonna prove you it's a really high pressure inside, so I'm gonna open it for you. Please, Tiancy, come closer and you can hear the noise. Then that shows, please come have a look inside. You can see the wine inside. Then this noise shows really the pressure. You can see the movement because the movement is always, and when it's open, there's no movement. And you can see, I didn't open this clay pot, this Amphorae, for 4 months. And it's missing approximately, I will say, 2 liters of wine. It's the angel parts. Same as we have in a barrel, but it's even a little bit more. Then let me show you this color, because during all of these moments, it really reconcentrates the wine. And because of this micro-oxygenation also, it makes the wine a little bit darker. We'll be happy to share with you, but so far, most of you are too far away from me. can feel it's still a little bit of gas inside. The wine is so sparkly, but it has a little bit of dizzy on the top. I decided to, it took me 2 years to do all the packaging around because I really wanted something special. Then I took these bottles. The name of this bottle shape, it's called Bacchus. And for me, it reminds me a little bit of the Amphorae shape. And here, I asked a designer to make a small amphora, and I love this design because for me, it looks like a bird. And this vineyard, it's along the rivers. Then these vineyards are many times a lot of birds around. The red dots here, it's the earth. That's really for me the origin that the roots, where the roots live, where the water comes from, really the origin of this good grape, the origin of the wine. Here on the side, it's a waves because this vineyard, it's along the rivers, and that's a wave of my river, the Gironde River, just over the opposite side of Margaux. Our name of family, and they are numbered. In 2015, we made 10,888 bottles, and this one is a 5,324. And here you can see these colors. Really, really, really. It's over, and it's a young vintage. It's 2016. I mean, not too young, but quite young. And you can see darkness. I know it's not the best. We are not outside. It will be earlier. But it's so dark. It's like ink. It's not hook, because that's also the advantage of the Amphorae. The Amphorae, I really want to keep all the fruitness. I really want to keep all the natural of the wine. I have some other cuvées when I'm going to age in barrels, but it's not comparable because with a barrel, you're looking to marriage different flavors, the tannin of the wood and the tannin of the wine. On that case, I just want to amplify the tannin of the wine. It doesn't mean it's going to be rough or hard. It just means it's going to be suave and really full power. The first mouth, it's so fruity. You have the feeling like my mom, she does a grapes marmalade. It's something like this. Really reminds me this fruit. And then you have a lot of complexity. It's not, like I said, it's not the wood tannin. It's really the complexity of the terroir, the land. This land, it's 30 meters high along the river, south lot. Then it's a very high drainage, and the roots go very deep, and the underground, it's made of limestone. The same limestone who built here this cellar. This cellar has been built by my grandfather around 1960s, and you see it's under ground level. Then it's naturally temperature control. I would like to have 4 or 5 more years and test again. I've saved some for me, but because you can feel after 4 or 5 years, it even will be more suave. But even for a young wine, because I told you, because of this micro-oxygenation, it feels very velvet on the tongue. It feels like almost, if you put a nice candy. It has perfect balance between acidity, between alcohol, and you feel like after when it's a lot of also freshness. It's not heavy. It's very fresh. After one glass, you feel you really need the second glass.
So that is where we had to end it. So the second one we have is the atmosphere, which she makes with no sulfites.
Can you tell us what the blend is on atmosphere?
I can. It's 100% Merlot.
That's
Both.
100%?
Yes. Both. Yeah.
They're so different.
Yes. So the comment from David Levine from St. Louis was that the two wines are so different. And I know,
yes.
I know you don't have them there.
Yes, I do. I'm tasting with you guys.
Oh, great.
Tonight.
Okay. So Emmanuelle can.
When it's when you don't add, because we do have one like this too, not adding anything, any sulfites from us. and the wine is really different from what we have right now. You're on the fruits, fresh fruits. It seems like you are biting a red grape or red fruit, and it's amazing. Yeah, it's really different from what we were used to. So it's similar to a natural. You come back to the natural wine that was made, I guess, few centuries ago. This is amazing.
So I know that the inspiration on the name of Atmosphere was that you have to, with no sulfites, you have to always control the atmosphere around the juice of the grapes.
Yes. Yes, you have to be very careful. Actually, I know when my brother-in-law is making this wine, he's very careful with he's receptioning the grapes. It has to be really quick, and then he's doing the fermentation as quick as we can. Then we press, and as soon as the press is done, we're waiting for the second fermentation. It's called the malolactic fermentation. So we're very careful, especially at the end, because we don't want to oxidize the wine. And then as soon as the second fermentation is done, we close the vat and we don't touch it for months until the bottling is next. So actually, as an independent, I don't know about Isabelle, I'm talking about myself here, but we are independent. I mean, bottled estate, that's how you call it. It means that we control everything from our grapes until the end, when we commercialize the wines, we're on the ground. So it means that we ferment, we control the fermentation, we control the aging and the bottling. But this kind of wine, we don't have the equipment for it. So we are using a specialist that is coming with his big bulk of nitrate bottles to avoid the air, because during bottling, unfortunately, with our machine, there's air that is coming through. So that's why we need to add some sulfites. But with this guy that is coming with this nitrate gas, you don't have to think about sulfite anymore. And that's what we're using actually until the end to avoid the sulfite. This way, it's bottled this way. And actually, we still have some in 2019 left at the winery, and it's still amazing. It's really shows the fruits again, the freshness that we're not used to it, even in stainless steel. It's very different. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.